doesn't it? But we are, of course, into game 2 here, and with completely zero surprise, Diana Gragashen banned out away from Dignitas.
Yeah, they're not going to have to move away from their strategy because they won the first game. So they're going to stick with that, make Scar go to a different champion here. In Super Week before this, Scar played 5 different champions in 5 games. So the rest of the season combined, he had only played 10 champions total. So once you take away his key, Diana, Gragas, and then Kale used to be, but she got kind of nerfed here. So it really forces him to spread out into an area he's not as comfortable with.
But now look at the champ selects here. Of course, Dignitas no longer first picking TF, of course, with Bandit. Then after GGU grabbed Elise, Dig was like, hey, we're going to steal Karthus and Ezreal away from you guys.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one. They saw the effectiveness of Karthus in the last game here. So this is going to make Gente go with Ryze. That's basically his second favorite champion there, so he's definitely at home on that. And it's another one that can scale up similarly to Karthus because they both start with Rod of Ages and Tear of the Goddess, and they try and stack that mana up very quickly.
Okay, so again, more sort of picks coming through here. You've got the Tristana also grabbed here for Don't Mash Me as Dig considers their picks.
We've seen a couple people use Tristana extremely effectively in that late game. If you can get her to 6 items, then she's one of the most powerful things in the entire game.
Well, it looks like it's Dignitas' turn to react to that, and they've locked in the Nasus for the attack speed slow, among other things, as well as support Zyra.
So one of the most effective late game AD carries, one of the most effective late game AD carry shutdown skills with that Wither. It's probably going to force Tristana to run Cleanse here, as Don't Mash Me is already using that on his Kha'Zix here. They do lock in the Yorick, so that's probably going to be a top lane Yorick. It could be a support Yorick though, because a couple people have done that as well. So either it's going to be Elise in the jungle, support Yorick, or they could actually switch that around and jungle Kha'Zix. There's so many options here. GGU, a very flexible team. I'm going to go with jungle Elise just because Nintendo loves that one, and then it's going to be support Yorick.
All right, so we're going to see how those lanes end up matching out, and of course talk about them when we get into the game. It's time for Dignitas to pick their top laner here. They had Zach last time. It worked okay-ish. What's in store for them?
I don't know if they'll go back to that one because they actually were unsuccessful. It wasn't really Zach's fault, though. As Paulie said, if they weren't behind so much, then those team fights could have gone completely differently. Looks like he's going to go for that lane bully that is Renekton. Whether he's in a 1v1 or a 1v2, he's definitely always a threat that you have to keep your eyes peeled for. The thing I want to point out about Dignitas, though, their team composition, we have the Zyra plus the Karthus. This is like the mother of all counter-initiate teams. We saw Patoy's Zyra ultimates so effective in Super Week. He was just counter-initiating every single team fight. He would at least get 3 to 4 people in the knockup with that ultimate, and it's a really good combination with Karthus.
Okay, meanwhile, as GGU swaps their champions around, if we assume it's what's on the screen right here, which is Ryze mid, Kha'Zix top, jungle Elise, and the support Yorick, what's in store for them?
It's probably going to be a switched lane for the AD and support. Support Yorick, he's pretty good at blocking skill shots though, so if they did end up in that lane against Ezreal, he's got ghouls popping out everywhere, it'll make it a little bit harder for that Ezreal to land all his mystic shots and stuff. Pretty interesting matchup actually.
Okay, so we are getting ourselves into the game as it's loading up for the players and us as spectators. Once again, guys, we're here in the game 2 of the quarterfinals. Now, even if we're done with this game, you've got another series here still to play today, so don't go anywhere. But again, GGU are up 1-0 in this series. They are a single Nexus away from guaranteeing their spot in the summer split and dropping Dignitas somewhere they thought they'd never be.
Yeah, they are really hyped up. They actually said that they would rather go against Dignitas than CLG back in Super Week when we were still figuring out who's going to play who. And they're confident. They showed why they were confident.
Yeah, they seem to have their numbers suddenly. Last time they lost to Dignitas was back in Week 5. They beat them in Week 9 now. This is, of course, GGU, and they beat them just 20 minutes ago. So we are here now into the game. GGU up 1-0. They're on the blue side. Dignitas, they've got to come back in 2-0 this series here in the red. We'll see if they can do it.
We've got 3 utility specs here, though. Zion Spartan, a little bit interesting, going deep in that utility to get his biscuit on Kha'Zix. Meanwhile, we have a Ryze utility, not very surprising there. Everybody loves getting that last point with the movement speed for Ryze because that is really expected on him. As well, you can pick up that point for 3% spell vamp, which is going to help you out a lot.
Okay, so that is going to be fun for them. Dignitas making a very aggressive move into the jungle of GGU, and look at him just forced to run away. Nintendo running back, another ward coming down there, spotting out the Wraiths. Dig making a lot of early moves.
So both teams actually got a Wraith ward out of that invade. We had Zion go over there to the red side and place one for his team as well. So everybody's really got similar vision here going into the start of this game.
Okay, so we have Dignitas now camping just defensively this time on their side of the map. Of course, GGU making the same move here as Mashme waits in the bottom lane. And it looks like we're potentially seeing just default lane setups here. We've got the AD carry support for GGU, definitely in the bottom half. Gente chilling in mid, Zion up at the top. Will Dignitas do anything special here?
Yeah, it's looking like Dignitas actually want this 2v2 in the bottom lane. They want to go up against that Yorick support and try and punish him. They have great poke. The Zyra plus Ezreal is a really strong poke combo. Kiwi Kid going to try and start with these Wraiths, but it looks like GGU want to punish him for it. And he tries to kite them into the bush. They're just going to back right off. No advantage for him.
Yeah, that good early ward definitely did help GGU out there. Meanwhile, you're seeing them lurk around their own jungle. The double golems were picked up here by Mashme and Daydreamin. Nintendo will start on his lizard buff, and the spider's going to help that one happen. And actually, look at this, Gente being sent to the bottom lane. They're going to 2v2 the mid lane.
So they showed Rise in the middle here, but now they're switching it up last second, and both teams are actually going to go ADs and supports in the mid lane. So instead of seeing them in the long lane, they're going to be in a little bit safer position. The short lane here in the middle, and Daydreamin going to have to start dodging some skill shots here.
Yeah, so you mentioned actually dodging skill shots. This is actually a lane where the support can't sit and brush the entire time. Is that a big weakness for Daydreamin here?
It's a bit of an advantage for Dignitas, but it's not going to be game-breaking here because he does, like I said, have those ghouls. He can at least block Mystic shots. Thing he's going to have to watch out for is a little bit slower moving Zyra snares.
Okay, that will be a bit of a risk there. Mashme taking another Q to the face. QtPie putting out some good damage right here. Right now the game just sort of equal as they kind of pan out in their lanes.
And this time we're going to see the 1v1 down bottom here. Karthus actually bullying Gente off. You can see Scar got the level 2 first, and he's making a really good use of that level advantage, trying to zone out Gente from the minions. The minion experience range is actually 1,000. You just kind of need a feel for it. It's a little bit more. And Gente taking a lot of harass here. One more late waste.
Wow.
Does force the flash.
Forced to flash away from that one. Nice job there by Scar landing these skill shots. Gente still level 1, forced to chug potions out. We're now watching Mashme in this mid lane. This top lane actually, look at that, 16-3. Kiwi Kid is absolutely destroying this lane.
Yeah, and he's shoving in a little bit, but it's not going to be too dangerous because he did start with that red elixir potion and ward start, already placing that ward, just trying to bully Zion Spartan early because Kozlik scales really well into the late game as that assassin that can go for resets. So this is really Kiwi Kid's time to shine, and he's got to make use of this advantage. We just saw Nintendo dodge this lay waste here, so it's going to turn into a 2 versus 2 brawl down bottom.
The Crumbs is waiting in the brush. Here they go. They're going to open up on a Scar. Exhaust comes down. Do they have enough damage? Has to rappel up into the air. Where will Nintendo go? Off to the left. He's trying to run from Crumbs. A bit of damage in the back of that one. Looks like they will survive. Scar burns Exhaust. No Summoners burn for GGU.
Yeah, that was a big win actually for GGU. Crumbs also burned his ghost there, so that's 2 big summoners down here for Dignitas. And Crumbs actually, he was afraid that those minions on the front line were within Nintendo's range to repel, so he started to go a little bit towards the tower there, and it just gave Nintendo an extra little bit of distance to safety.
Yeah, nice move right there then by Nintendo to choose his targets properly. We're watching Mashme again in this mid lane, just trying to push things down. The poke still coming out from QtPie. He's landing a lot of these Mystic shots here. He's making GGU's life a little difficult.
Daydream is kind of a punching bag at this point. That brush, lack of brush is turning out to be a pretty big deal for them. Don't Mashme also doing his part trying to dodge those Zyra snares.
Well, they're holding on at the very least. You're seeing 31-35 as far as this little mid lane is concerned. Zion versus Kiwi Kid, though, you still see 20-29. It's a closer gap than last time. Actually, aggressive coming in. Look at the punishment there. Zion forced to use Leap to get out of that one, but he's running out of mana.
Yeah, he's called SOS here. We need some help. I need backup. Nintendo's going to come to the top lane here. We're going to have him take over, just try and defend this top turret so Kiwi Kid doesn't get any free damage on it.
Looks like Nintendo will be holding on this one very, very safely. Zion heading back to base, picks up Tear, a mana potion, a couple more health ones as well. So a lot of different, well, actually only 2 colors here in his inventory. Dignitas Mashme. Ooh, finally not a root landed there on a Mashme, but the plants, they do a bunch of damage. He's not liking his life much either. as they try to take down these little plants now.
Yeah, Patori's doing a great job of zoning and really controlling the space in this mid lane. Since it is shorter, that Zyra is a lot more effective of controlling the area here. You can see that we only have Cutie Pie winning by a few minions, but some of these minions for Don't Mash Me are plant kills, which only give 5 gold. So it's a little bit misleading, that 42 CS for Don't Mash Me.
All right, now actually something about Mash Me that I just saw a second ago. He actually has a 1%, I'm going to actually guess 1%, but I saw him crit something. He has a 1% critical strike chance from his rune page.
Yeah, some people, you know, they always throw in that one rune just to get lucky. It's that game-changing mentality that you have there.
All right, so we'll see if that ends up panning out for him in an actual battle and not just against minions. So far, it's been his only success so far, critting minions. Jinte up in this bottom lane, fighting up against Scar, pretty safe.
This is something that we see some mid laners when they're forced down to the bottom lane for the first couple times. They actually forget to buy as many wards as someone who's used to the side lane would buy. Like if we had Kiwi Kid down here or something, who's used to solo laning, then we'd have my own Tribush ward or something here. But Jinte actually fairly exposed here, and we saw Crumbs go put that pink ward inside Dragon, and now he's going to go back and clear that one out. Vision control over Dragon is huge when you're up against a Nasus. As soon as Crumbs hits level 6, that's his Dragon to take.
All right, you can see him right there just taking down the ward. Gets +3 on the Siphoning Strike for his trouble, and there we go, level 5 pushing down on the Dragon.
They don't even wait for the Nasus level 6 here. They don't need it. They've got a Karthus in the bottom lane, burning it down. Nintendo wants to answer though, and he's great at stealing away dragons.
They're going in on the Crumbs, a lot of damage there. Ignite off as well. First blood, will it be? He's taking damage. First blood actually goes to Skara. They'll jump in from Mash Me. He finds one to answer. 1-for-1 in this battle, and out goes GGU. Skara very, very low in mana. Looks like he will not ult anything, but they did stop Dragon. Actually, Mash Me, he's caught up alone.
Yeah, Jinte took a little bit too much damage there, and he went down first, so that was the first blood, but Don't Mash Me gonna have to make a sneaky escape to get out of this one. Scar's found him.
And the Skittles do not lie. Picks that one up. Skara now 2-0 in this game. Great early pickups for that Karthus.
He's tasting that rainbow. 2 kills is going to be huge for Skara. You always like to see a Karthus get fed early because that means the early game Requiems are going to be that much more potent. He's got it ready now, skilled that one up, so the next team fight could be even worse for GGU.
That's going to be a rough thing for them to think about. They won game 1, but game 2 now looking a little bit more rough. Early aggression, I should say, not quite going in their favor. Nintendo starting up his Lizard buff, do what he can to keep himself relevant throughout the map.
And we also have Cutie Pie trying to one-up Don't Mash Me here with his new Ezreal build of rushing that Spirit of the Elder Lizard, which we've heard some top laners say that they really like because it's an efficient AD item. You get cooldown reduction with that as well. And then the true damage burn is just kind of an extra little bonus that you get with it.
Okay, so we'll see how good his poke is. Don't Mash Me right now is on fire. He says, hey, 2 can play that game, and puts the explosive shot onto Cutie Pie.
Now he's basically able to solo up in this mid lane here. He did jump into that last team fight to finish off the kill on Crumbs, and he was rewarded with a BF sword. So that's going to allow him to be a lot stronger in that middle lane, not get bullied around quite as much. Sound Spartan, though, not really in the same boat here. He's still under pressure from Kiwi Kid constantly.
And you can see how that manifests right there. The flash energy being, wow, forced out of Zion Spartan, even at half health. He's afraid of Renekton, and you see that manifest in the minion score here, 54 to 77. Absolute advantage for Kiwi Kid, as you mentioned. This bottom lane, though, this one's been more equal despite Jinte losing his flash early, 55, 52.
Yeah, the minions are pretty equal, but remember, Scar just got 2 kills. One of them was first blood, so he can start to pull away with this one. Meanwhile, in that top lane, we see the flash was bird from Zion Spartan to get away from that one, and he had a red pot in his inventory. So even with a red pot able to answer, he didn't want to fight. He had enough of Kiwi Kid here. Now Crumbs is level 6 here, and he has his ultimate for this round of dragon fights. It looks like he's waiting for the ward here, but Daydreamin' just using those ghosts to go over the side, and he pops his ultimate here. His Scar's coming back in with that magic damage from Karthus.
Oh, and they just burned that one down immediately. Great pickup there for Dignitas. Of course, they had spotted guys from GGU in the top lane. It's a great, that is ours, thank you very much. They've pulled themselves now 14,500 gold to just under 12. So a bit of a, 2.5k gold lead here for Dignitas. They're looking great in this game.
That's one of those times where we see Kiwi Kid deserves a lot of credit for that dragon. Yes, he was nowhere to be found. He was in his fountain at the time, but it was because of the pressure Kiwi Kid was putting on Zion. Wow, Daydreamin taking so much damage right here.
Oh my gosh, the pressure from Cutie Pie is just too much. He pops his ultimate, revives himself, kind of, but of course the kill still goes over. Cutie Pie runs away from that one. Again, just more things keep going right for Dignitas.
It looks like Crumbs just wanted to come in, punch Daydreamin in the face a couple times as well. For good measure, and they're going to shove in this middle lane. Like I was saying about Kiwi Kid, though, he gets credit for that dragon because he forced Nintendo to show himself in the top lane, and immediately they feed that information to Crumbs. Crumbs acts on it. Nice dragon for Dignitas.
Absolutely nice by them. And this just looks like a bit of a change at Dignitas here. They finally have the early moves going, their way for once. Skara, they get behind him. He's found a champion he's excelling on right there. Again, that 2-0 Karthus you mentioned, having a great game for himself. What's next? Actually, hold on. Yeah, the Wall of Pain actually even spots Nintendo coming in. Skara's just on point right now.
Yeah, what's next could be the Spider Lady. They did see him coming down through the river with that pink ward that they had around Dragon. So good reactions by Skara. He actually baits Nintendo down to waste a little bit more time, and then goes right back to farming as soon as he knows that he's safe. He's just in command of this bottom lane here. Just shoving it over and over again. Jintae's doing a good job of CSing under his turret, though.
He is doing a very good job of that one, still keeping up as best they can. So right now, you got to consider what is the hope here for Good Game University? Most of their lanes are doing pretty rough right now. The only guys holding up, I guess, are Jintae and Mashme, despite the fact the fights aren't going well.
Yeah, GGU, they still have pretty good late game here. I mean, we've got Tristana, we've got Rise, we've got Zion Spartan here on Kha'Zix. So all three of those are going to scale up really well into late game, and they're going to hope for catching people out single targets, because the late game for AoE still goes over to Dignitas with that early fed Karthus Skara. Skara, Karthus, Skarthus.
Skarthus, nice. I like that one. That could be like the third Scarface movie.
Scarface 3, Skarthus.
Instead of the file, it's just cocaine flying around, and Mashme, man, getting lit on fire. I'm a Cutie Pie just still putting out pressure. And look at that, the entire lane is on fire.
Look at all these pings, so much action going down, all the junglers coming up from different sides here.
They want to star in the movie, man. It's going to be so good for them. So here we go, the minions getting crushed down. Mashme just explodes them all. I mean, this is the one explosive game of releasing. Like, there's fire and explosions everywhere. Right now, it's Crumbs sniffing out Zion Spartan right here, seeing if he can find anything to kill. And looks like they're still pinching, but not quite going in onto it.
Yeah, Kiwi Kid and Crumbs both have their ultimates to pop, so they can get that burst of HP and the AoE magic damage bring down. But Zion's a very slippery guy here on Kha'Zix, and they don't want to chance that under a turret, even though if they went for it, you've got a Requiem in your back pocket. That's going to be supercharged from Karthus. He's got his Rod of Ages already, so both of his mana stacking items are going to be ticking up all game long here. It looks like Dignitas really focused on this upper side here as Crumbs is waiting at that blue buff.
And Juju seems to be reading it. You see Crumbs right there in the corner, hiding from wards, but Nintendo is also waiting in this sort of wing right here. He knows there's going to be some pressure coming in very, very soon. Zion's partner and Kiwi Kid getting into a scrap again. You just see Kiwi with a giant item advantage. See Crumbs right there in the corner, hiding from wards, but Nintendo is also waiting in this sort of wing right here. He knows there's going to be some pressure coming in very, very soon. Zion's partner and Kiwi Kid getting into a scrap again. You just see Kiwi with a giant item advantage, and he's constantly pushing Zion away, and there comes the repel. They want to go in on a Renekton. He pops his ultimate. Will it be enough damage? Kiwi getting dropped really, really low. There's the Requiem, but he lands a stun. Nintendo, does he have the damage? He does. Finds one back, but here comes Crumbs trying to avenge his brother, even though they don't like each other. And Nintendo is still with it, trying to run. Can Zion do much to stop this? Ezreal comes off, does not quite hit them, though. That could have been enough for Crumbs to pick it up, but they're still diving. Here comes Patoy. Here comes Cutie Pie. Nintendo's still trying to run. Cutie Pie slowed down by Zion. Amazing Void Spike there. Are they just going to get out of range? Cutie Pie does not want to give up, but he has to. And there we go, 1-0.
So the trade-off here for Crumbs, always seeming to be in the right spot at the right time, is that he's only level 7, and he's spent so much time waiting around in bushes there. We saw him just milling around this blue buff for almost the entire minute there. Wasted a lot of time. He's getting behind in experience. Nintendo's level 9 to Crumbs is only level 7. Just hit level 8 right there off that free minion wave. This may end up costing them because a squishy Nasus is not a good thing for your team.
So speaking of squishy, by the way, I actually want to point out Kiwi Kid's item build. We saw him build super tanky last game. He's gone Brutalizer, double Doran's Blade here.
Yep, and he wants to be that threat. This time, their AD carry is not a pure damage AD carry. They're the ones with Ezreal. He's going to be a little bit more utility-oriented, and he wants to have some more damage out of that top lane. Didn't feel like he had the impact he wanted with a full tank Zac, and now he wants to actually grab some kills. Cutie Pie snapping away that red buff with his True Shot Barrage.
That's why he got Lizard Elder. He steals his own red buff better.
Extra damage.
Yes, perfect. Amazing. Great play, Cutie Pie. Good synergy there. Mashme, though, doing it the old-fashioned way. Look how much effort he's put into this. Auto attacks, dancing back and forth. Cutie Pie did it in style.
He was pulling a pirouette over there, too. Tristana pretty nimble on her toes. He has rushed his Infinity Edge. So he's feeling just fine about his picks. He's like, okay, Cutie Pie, you can mess around with your utility build. I'm going to go pure damage here. I will out-damage you in a team fight any day.
Okay, we'll see if that ends up being the thing that turns this game around. Dragon spawning in 5 seconds. Who goes for it?
This is going to be both teams converging here. Neither one wants to give it up. It's still a very close game. Even though Dignitas 2K gold ahead, GGU getting in position first. They have the vision advantage, but they don't want to tank this Dragon. That's a lot of damage this early in the game. If they cede over to Dignitas, though, they can burn down very quickly. A blue buff on Skara means that we can see a repeat of last time where they just burn it down in 3 seconds.
Well, here they go. GG looking to make some pressure. They go for the stun, don't quite land anything. The plan's just completely eviscerating Dragon right here. Will GGU stop them? Dragon goes over to Dignitas. Now, the damage coming across still on both sides. Zion taking a bit of pain. Dignitas, there we go. The ult comes out from Crumbs. Kiwi Kid has already popped his as well. They're still looking to try to make something happen. There's the stun, does not quite land. Kiwi Kid dodges away from it. And now Dignitas are kiting back. They will make their way out of that fight.
Great poke on Dignitas there. They were able to keep GGU from engaging on them even after they had already taken the Dragon. They had to blow Zyra ultimate, and at that point, GGU were thinking about going in, but they weren't able to finish it off, and now they're going to swing to that middle, get a turret as well. Split pushing Tristana is going to have to come back at some point.
She gets one turret for herself, but 1 for 1. We've seen a lot of people say the mid turret is worth more. You got to believe it here as well. Dignitas put themselves on the turret map, but they've got a 3,500 gold lead, and they're still pushing forward.
Looks like they want a game 3 here. Scar going deep inside the turret.
They just evaporate him at the very beginning, but Daydream taking a whole bunch of pain. Here comes a Requiem for a Daydreamin', and he's going to go down. Double kill there for Skara, and they're going to keep pushing down to the turret.
So we try to see the combo here for the Yorick Rise. If you ultimate Yorick ultimate onto Rise, then he can continue casting all his spells, and it's a really a good choice there to try and keep up damage, but they both go down so quickly that Dignitas come out with another win right here. They back off up to the top.
They are near the top side. Looks like it's not quite Baron they're looking for, but the top turret just might be theirs. The gold lead now spread apart to 5,000. Dig are absolutely in control of this game, and they're pushing this top lane. This turret could very well be theirs.
Yes, Scar going to go down, put some more pressure bottom too. So as Dignitas are drawing GGU up top to try and defend the remnants of this turret, we're going to have Scar going in that bottom lane, and he might even get some damage on the bottom turret here. They're trying to chase down Dig, but they're already the turret was so low, they're probably going to get out of this one.
Great pickups there. Dignitas completely turning this game. I mean, they were already winning, but super far ahead this time around. Nintendo will not find anyone to interrupt, just a couple seconds too late. However, now they have the numbers advantage, and now they're looking at the top turret.
It seems like Dignitas are sort of one step ahead of GGU, though. If we do answer turrets here, then it's going to be the bottom for the top. Skara, not the strongest at pushing down turrets, but he can certainly clear a minion wave like no other. And since it's so hurt already, that is going to be another one for Dig as GGU. Looks like they're aiming at Baron.
They are just forcing this down as hard as they can right now. Daydreamin's ult still down for a short time. They're putting out the damage output. There we go. They don't have Scar. He doesn't have Requiem either. And look at that. GGU forced to back away. They do not get the Baron here. Zion's Spartan actually in a rough spot. Tries to put the Q down. He gets rooted in place. They are still putting damage onto him. And there he finally leads over the wall.
They don't really have a main tank here for GGU that can hold aggro on Baron. So as soon as they get seen out, they back off of there. And Scar, like I said, shoving that bottom lane, actually rewarded with 2 turrets because of the extended stay GGU made up top. Looks like they're going for it again here, though. It's going to be Dignitas this time, and they're popping the ultimates.
Wow, this is going to be a really, really fast pickup for them. If they don't get stopped, Nintendo forced to flash away from the grasping roots, and Cutie Pie is still chasing. Iceborne Gauntlet slowing him down, and there comes the counterattack. A lot of damage coming off. Oh, beautiful pickup there. Kiwi Kid finds Nintendo. There is now no jungler to smite, steal this one away, as look at that. Skara is still pushing down the bottom half. Zion is not done, but he gets slowed down. Maybe he is done this time around, still running back away. Scar, the turret is going to drop down, and Cutie Pie wants to chase. The Void Spike slowing him down. And there we go, Skara rewarded with 3 turrets for his troubles, and no one has stopped them. There we go, don't mash me and Kiwi Kid into a battle. Mash me forced to run away from that one. Looks like Kiwi Kid has mashed him and forced him back. Skara still pushing the bottom lane, and Daydream is now stuck out. This battle will not end, but this time he will fall over.
Cutie Pie goes ahead.
Oh, Cutie Pie finds a double kill. Great pickup there on to Mash Me.
Cutie Pie has the perfect build for that style of play. He's gone with that, as probably would term it, the most annoying champion in the game build with Iceborne Gauntlet. He's kiting all of GGU, keeping everyone from recalling and allowing Skara to get 3 turrets, all of them in bottom lane there. Doesn't quite finish off an inhibitor, but that was Dignitas 4 versus 5, kiting around GGU and coming out with free kills.
They 2 for 0 that one, absolutely, man. That was a beautiful, beautiful setup there by Dignitas, and they just burgeoned to a 9,000 gold lead. That is absolutely a huge score there. Cutie Pie not even interrupted going for the lizard buff there. Dignitas are in complete control right now.
Cutie Pie also called out his build early with the Frosted Tips Ezreal. He's got some matching style going on here.
I like that very, very much. So Dignitas, I mean, what changed that made them look so good in this game compared to game 1?
They're so much more decisive here. You can see them calling the shots, them going for the objectives, then just basically playing this as a chess match, forcing GGU to go to different points on the map and respond to them. They've also built accordingly, like we said, Cutie Pie going with the kiting build here, trying to keep GGU from being able to respond to the pressure that Dignitas are applying.
Oh, absolutely great play by them as Skara just goes and pushes down. Of course, actually with the rest of his team, they go and push down this basically naked bottom lane right here. Blue buff is on the Death Singer, and he's making his way over. And GGU, I mean, they're clearing waves the other side of the map, but they've got to regroup for this soon.
This is the easiest way to force a fight is an exposed inhibitor. You don't have to take any damage from turrets. You don't have to take any damage from Baron. Not even Dragon is easier than this. So if they want a fight, they can just poke at this inhibitor, wait for GGU to engage, back off a little bit, use their amazing counter engage with that Zyra, and just demolish the rest of this base. If not, it's going to be a free inhibitor here for Dignitas.
Well, you're seeing them kind of poke back and forth at each other. Cutie Pie got some early damage on a Jinte. Then Nintendu down very, very low as well. Also got slowed down. He's going to have to go heal Daydream. And oh my gosh, the poke Nintendu's so very low. Then look at that. GGU forced to heal back at the fountain, and Dignitas have found themselves that first inhibitor.
GGU are really hoping for more late game engages. This is a little bit too early for them. Their comp doesn't really come together until that Ryze gets tanky, and the Ryze can be the point man. They're hoping for having Ryze start off a team fight, get down some AoE damage, then get York ultimated, and as soon as he went down, pop back up at Frozen Heart.
Oh, that has hurt him a little bit. Of course, Mash Me starting up the blue buff for his team. I assume he'll give that to Ryze, unless he... No, he just wants the cooldown reduction on the rapid fire. So, interesting choice right there. Jinte not even trying to pick that up.
He was going for those Goomba Stomps as well. He wants to get all the rocket jumps off. It's going to be really difficult for GGU to defend the next Baron. Now that their bottom inhibitor is down, side lane inhibitors are actually apply a little bit more pressure than the mid lane inhibitor because all those minions, the super minions from the bottom lane, are going to be hitting on that single Nexus turret, and they focus their damage a little bit better. So if GGU leave their base for too long, then they can actually lose out a Nexus turret while Dignitas just play around doing the Baron dance.
You know, we've seen that play out so many times. I remember Marn versus TSM, I think, had the exact same situation where TSM played them around Baron just for 30 seconds as their base exploded. This could be a similar situation here from Dignitas against Good Game University. 5-kill lead, 10,000 gold, 3 turrets, and pretty much everything else on the map going their way. And they start to push on in a little bit. They group around the Baron. Minions still push slowly towards that bottom side as well.
It's so dangerous for GGU because the Karthus always has that threat of the Baron, and here goes Crumbs trying to initiate.
He is trying to push on in. Daydream taking a whole bunch of pain flashes over the wall. Cupid still chasing him down though. Can he get away from this one? Actually forced to just die right there and pops the ult onto Ryze, but looks like it's not going to do a whole heck of a lot. Zion Spartan caught out, leaps away, but it's still a 1 for 0 so far in Dignitas' favor. Zion flashes back, W is off. There's Kiwi Kid taking pain, but so is Jinte, forced to flash away as well. And Cutie Pie finds another kill. He's on a rampage. That is a 4-0 Ezreal with 2 kills in that fight right there. And now GGU 3v5. I don't think it can stop this Baron.
Dignitas took out Daydream in first, which just because he was in a bad position, but that's actually the best way for them to start a fight. Because if you have York use his ultimate early on Ryze and Ryze doesn't die, that's just an auto-attacking Ryze. Before Ryze dies, he can't use the spells on that Ghost, and so they basically just break the whole composition, making the York ultimate come out early, and there's no hope for GGU after that.
None at all, and you saw how easy that fight looked for Dignitas. Vigam University just forced to battle against minions, a fight they can actually win this time as Mashmi tries to get himself some more gold, getting close to that Phantom Dancer, but still not completed yet. Over at Cutie Pie, he's got 3 full completed items.
Yeah, so does Skara too. Look up the AP on that Karthus, because that is devastating. He's completed the death cap now, so that's going to hurt just a little bit. And that's going to be AoE. He's got guaranteed hits with the Requiem as well. All of GGU are fairly squishy still at this point. You can see finally the Graceful Shroud coming out for that Ryze. So that's only going to protect him a little bit here from the physical damage. Dignitas, they're just so far ahead at this point that they really just have to focus up as a group and shove into the rest of GGU's base. They're going for a pick on Don't Mash Me and get him down to half.
A whole bunch of slows, and there's the rest of it. Cutie Pie with the ultimate drops him down. Great root by Patoy to set that one up. Spooky goes into Iceborne Gauntlet. Pretty painful thing for Mash Me to deal with. And the turret's going to go down as well.
So this series is so far very iconic of the Dignitas that we've seen in LCS. They're a very snowbally team. As Jat said, they're sort of a streaky team. And so, you know, they lost the first game fairly decisively. They're winning this second game extremely decisively. They just have to push in on another inhibitor turret up here in the top lane, and they've got 5 versus 4. So another 5 seconds on Don't Mash Me means that Cutie Pie gets to hit this turret for free.
Does a whole bunch of damage. It's down to about 3/4. GG are forced to run across the map back and forth, looking for places to defend as minions keep piling in.
Dignitas have said that they're not quite comfortable with ending games quite yet. They just sort of default to pushing multiple lanes at the same time when they're extremely far ahead. And because they're so far ahead, they can just bully their way in. And they're slowly chunking down both of these turrets. It's going to work out really well. This time the Void Spikes catching out Cutie Pie a little bit. They still have to be sort of careful here, because if Ezreal actually does go down early, then that's going to be a huge bonus here for GGU, and the kiting potential will drop off tremendously for Dignitas.
Now these turrets are taking damage over time. Finally, Mashmi's come back for his Phantom Dancer, so 2-item Tristana. Will that be enough? We saw 6-item Tristana carry Marn up against CLG, but 2 is a much smaller number than 6. I'm a Cutie Pie taking damage. He pushes down the turret, but they're going to find that one. That is one right there for Dignitas. Now for inhibitor number 2. The bottom one actually has respawned at this point, but they look to be in control of GGU's base. Mashmi dropped low. Jinte puts some damage into Kiwi Kid. Ult comes across, and there we go. Turret has gone down. They will keep moving forward.
They're not going to leave the base of GGU. They've claimed their territory. They're going to take out the last turret and then slowly close around GGU.
And they look like they're going to be doing this quite well for themselves. The inhibitor down below half, taking more and more damage. Kiwi Kid has jumped into the middle. Zion's Spartan getting eviscerated, but he does have the ult coming in. Will it be enough with the sort of revived clone here? Cutie Pie forced back. Jinte falls over right there. 2 kills for nothing. Now the Zion Spartan clone does fall. Again, the 2-for-0 fight. Second inhibitor goes down. Third one, looks like that just dropped to minions, and they're pushing on forward. Now the Nexus turrets will go down. Dignitas will look to tie this one up 1-1 in the quarterfinal, and I don't see it going any other way.
This is perfect for the fans. We get a Game 3 here. Excitement already for the North American playoffs.
And there it is. The Nexus is losing health and health and health. Skara will not even die in that last fight. Dignitas ties it up 1-1. And now the question is, where goes Game 3?